How's it going, everyone? Today I'm here to talk about the WWE Network special that aired right after Raw tonight, which was the Stone Cold podcast with none other than Vince McMahon himself. However, before I get into the video, I want to let you guys know that a DVD review for the Macho Man, the Randy Savage story will be up either tomorrow or Wednesday, so look forward to that if you guys, if you want to see that or, curious about where the review's been the last couple of weeks. I didn't get a chance to pick this up on the release date. I just got it, this past weekend, so I was able to watch it, and a review will be up within the next day or two. So if you're interested, look forward to that. But this video is about the Stone Cold podcast with Vince McMahon. Like I said, it was a WWE Network special that aired right after Raw. And I know going into it, they announced it last week during Raw that was going to happen. And I know going into it, a lot of people are kind of like, it's going to be awesome, but like, is it going to be kayfabe? Is it, are they going to tone it down, not really go into, in-depth things like, Austin usually does on his podcast? Will Vince be open? There was a lot of questions going into it, and when it all ended, I'm pretty sure I can speak for everyone, at least from my Twitter timeline that I saw when people were live tweeting, that it was simply amazing. This podcast was unreal. It was great, seeing Vince, how open he was. He was extremely open. He didn't really hold back. There were a few questions where he kind of just like brushed them away or, didn't fully answer them. But besides that, he was, fairly open. He was just, you can definitely tell he was answering, genuinely. It wasn't like, making up some fake bull crap. He was legitimately answering the question how he felt. Now, there were a few things that he answered. I was kind of like, come on, like, they actually, Austin brought up CM Punk and brought up the podcast, and Vince didn't listen to it, which, it could or could not be true, but, I'm pretty sure I don't know if he's listened to it. From what I've heard, he has, but, I'd rather listen to the horse's mouth than the sheets majority of the time, even though, you can't really, you don't know who to believe sometimes, because, the sheets could be right, and, they could be covering their asses, or the sheets are wrong, and they're actually telling the truth, so you never know. But he was extremely open, extremely genuine. Some of the subjects he touched on, I'm not going to go over the entire thing, it's something you have to listen to. It was originally supposed to be an hour long, but at the end of it, Stone Cold trying to wrap it up, and it's like, no, I'm not done yet. It's my network. Let's go 15 more minutes. So they went 15 more minutes of what they're supposed to go. So they actually went 75 minutes instead of 60. But some of the topics, a lot of things, or the main thing I think people are looking forward to about Vince talking about was the CM Punk situation. And they got on it. They touched about it. You can definitely tell Vince McMahon was, a little distraught about it. He seemed disappointed with his facial expressions, talking about it. Just how it all went down. Just CM Punk supposedly was not, I don't want to, he didn't say he's like a horrible person, but like he wasn't really, wasn't well to communicate with. He wasn't good at communicating, which is kind of weird because when you listen to the podcast, Punk was on. He was pretty much, he seemed like he always told whatever was on his chest to Vince or whoever. So it's kind of weird to say that, or hear that, I should say. But, he pretty much, talked about how he was disappointed how things went down. He compared it, with the Austin walkout. Austin actually compared himself with that. And, Vince pretty much said that, he has high hopes. He doesn't have high hopes, but he just hopes one day they can all, put it behind them and get together. Because, there's guys who've had worse situations. Guys like Austin, when he walked out, it was pretty heated. Ultimate Warrior, like, Hogan. Like, there's a bunch of guys that have had, worse situations in Punk. So, he's kind of like, confident that one day they'll do business again. And he's looking forward to it if they do. Some other thing they touched upon, Austin was just, he was laying the questions in. I'll say this. He wasn't like, he literally meant it when he said, no bullshit questions. He literally laid it down. He even asked, he mentioned TNA a few times, even though, when he mentioned them, he kind of buried them, saying that there's no competition. There's TNA, but they're not competition. But he brought up, how guys aren't stepping up, Austin, how, like, some guys don't push, their way to becoming bigger stars, which it's risky, but, at the end it's rewarding. Look at Austin. He pushed and pushed and pushed, and, it was a risky move on his part, but it worked out for the better. And, Vince, it was just open. He didn't hold back. They brought the JR situation, how it led to, his demise with the company and him leaving. They talked about, they even talked about Shane a little bit, how Shane, left and wanted to do other things, and, that's what Vince wanted him to do, or Vince, whatever he wanted to do, he wanted Shane to do. Talked about how, Vince wanted to become a wrestler. He didn't want to be an announcer or anything, he wanted to become a professional wrestler. His father wouldn't let him. He talked about when he started announcing that he had zero ring announcing ability, how it even came about, how the original ring announcer wanted a raise, but his father wouldn't give it to him, therefore he got rid of him. and, you know, made Vince the ring announcer, and Vince, you know, he's never ring announced a day in his life, developed his skills from there, went forward, and, you know, they talked about a few other things. Talked about Cesaro, how, you know, Cesaro's a tremendous talent, but, you know, Vince basically said he's amazing, but he doesn't have that connection with the audience. You know, it's with Cesaro, like, his matches are amazing, but, like, what's about him that really connects with people? What's about him that makes the fans really want to see him? Like, everyone, it's no secret in the world Cesaro isn't the greatest on the mic, but, like, he doesn't have that character or anything about him really that's, you know, sticks to the fans. Yeah, he's a great wrestler, and his wrestling will get the eyes on him, but, like, what will make him stay throughout his entire run, not just the match. So that was, you know, fair. That's, you know, fair to say, you know, with Cesaro in his position currently. But, you know, like, it's, you know, it's an awesome podcast. You know, I think, well, I don't think Austin said it. You know, they're gonna finish the podcast on the Steve Austin show. I'm not sure if it's gonna be tomorrow because he releases episodes on Tuesdays. But I just know in a future episode, whether it be tomorrow or sometime down the line, him and Vince are gonna finish. I think it's gonna be on the Unleashed show, which is on Thursdays, I think. I haven't caught up with the Steve Austin show in quite some time. I listen to an episode every now and then, but I don't, you know, keep up on it weekly like I used to back then. But yeah, overall, just a phenomenal podcast. I think it exceeded expectations. It's always awesome to see. It was very candid. I'll just say that. You know, it was awesome to see Vince McMahon just really be open to everything. You know, Austin even threw him some curveballs. I'm pretty sure Vince didn't expect him to ask or say, and Vince was just open about it. He didn't try to dodge it. He just, you know, like I said, there's a few questions where he didn't fully answer it, but he didn't, you know, entirely just push it away and ignore it. So overall, a great podcast, really enjoyable, just a great watch. It'd be awesome if WWE was able to do this with Austin more. I'm so excited about the podcast. I can't even speak right. I wish WWE would do this with Austin more often. You know, get a podcast maybe once a month or every now and then. I honestly feel like if they did more of these, it would get more network subscribers. Because, like, I was seeing people on my timeline saying, like, there goes my month subscription right there. The whole month I'm paying for December, that was worth the paying right there. So I definitely think, you know, not necessarily with Vince every single time, but, you know, every now and then, a podcast with Austin live, like they just did, would be incredible for the network. I think it would do wonders for them. I think it would be great. And yeah, I'll do it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the Stone Cold podcast with Vince. If you watched it, definitely a must see. I was gonna say must listen to because it's a podcast, but you actually watch it and listen to it at the same time because it's, you know, on video. Hope you guys enjoyed it if you watched it. If not, definitely check it out. It's amazing. I'd probably say it's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to in quite some time. You know, I know the Punk one just came out, and, you know, I've loved that podcast. It's one of my favorites as well. But from Steve Austin, I definitely say it's probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite podcast he did. But yeah, now I'm just rambling on. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until, you know, tomorrow or the next day, whenever I post a review up for this, that's when you'll see me next time. But until after the review for this, whenever you see me again is when you do. And until then, I'll see you guys later. Peace.